It's the time set for today. Let's go. So we have to bring new information about Lucas Paquetá. Yesterday, Riza here on Placa Roberto brought the information that West Ham wanted the most. About RM, 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 RM. English media reported that West Ham would have rejected the offer. Then, obviously, everyone here in Brazil reported that West Ham had rejected the offer. We even mentioned Raisa. She had said that they wanted more and everything. So, what happened? We went to get information from a source connected to Flamengo's board to find out what Flamengo was going to do if Flamengo was going to increase the offer. That confirmed offer of RM that we brought here on Placa RP. And then the source said the following: the offer was not rejected. The offer was not rejected. We've never been so close to signing Lucas Paquetá. Then I said, but how come if they want more, then this person said, look, that aspect has already been resolved. That's already been overcome. West Ham wanted more, but that's already been overcome. At this moment, we've never been so close to the numbers and conditions they want. I then asked them to explain more about the situation and how things are going with Lucas Paquetá. Flamengo is going to pay more. It's going to reach 40 million. That's what Flamengo is doing. And then they explained the following. This source close to the board explained that Flamengo's management really did offer this fixed amount, with part of it paid up front and the other part in installments. And what about the bonus? What West Ham actually wants is for Flamengo to decrease the variable part, decrease the bonus, increase the fixed amount, and decrease the fixed bonus, increase the upfront payment. Because they need to sign players to avoid relegation, and they're even thinking about replacing Lucas Paquetá. So, the information is from this source connected in England. They say that the offer was rejected and that West Ham wants 45 million euros. The information we got here from the roots of these 45 million euros before people started talking. Flamengo claims that they've already managed to get close to that 40 million euro figure. They've already reduced that too, so it's no longer a problem. And the agreed amount has never been this close. The numbers have never come this close before. And what's holding things up now isn't even about when he's coming anymore. That Flamengo could bring him in during this transfer window, but the thing is, Flamengo will have to improve the situation. For example, the upfront amount getting to 38 million. A fixed amount, 38 million fixed, and 2 or 3 million euros in bonuses. And the upfront payment, Flamengo will try to reach the maximum they can pay upfront, for example, to reach it. The total, including bonuses, is 40 million euros. If Flamengo can pay 25 million euros upfront and the rest in installments, they might make it work, okay? They want Flamengo to raise the upfront payment to release Paquetá in this transfer window. So that was their response. It wasn't rejected. Flamengo and West Ham have never been this close to agreeing on terms and numbers. They're already in a position to close the deal, okay? Paquetá keeps pressuring the player's staff, claiming that his issue right now is physical, to skip training or games due to physical issues like his back. He will keep training if he needs to and is able. They said it's not that the player is refusing, like saying, I won't do it. The story that he was sidelined and doesn't join in is about training and playing, not him throwing a tantrum, okay? I actually think that's better because the more you fight and don't talk things out, I think it makes things harder. But things are moving forward. Okay, guys? I'm not sure if Riza has similar info, but that's what I got from a board-connected source. I'll say it again. In England, they say it was rejected. Here, it's the opposite. UOL also just brought the information that the numbers there are, well, they're similar now. And the whole question is, how is this payment going to be made?
I have some information. I heard Flamengo understand Flamengo's narrative, but it's actually a factual narrative. The offer was declined when Flamengo offered 35 million euros plus 5 million euros in bonuses with a certain payment method, with an unspecified number of details. And Ashan says, no, I don't accept a proposal like this. It's declined. If Flamengo needs to change the proposal, change the offer was declined, and that's how I stand by it. The information I have is that the offer was declined. Ashan still doesn't want to negotiate Paquetá in this transfer window, right? The best case scenario for Ashan is for Flamengo to increase the offer amount and negotiate Paquetá. But that he stays at the club at least until mid-year, like Papa said, right? His staff claims that he isn't able to train even though he's doing it. At least yesterday, he had already started the transition, but he would be out of this game against Santos. Flamengo is playing the waiting game. Ashan isn't rushing to negotiate, but the player remains dissatisfied. The player no longer wants to play for Ashan and wants to move to Brazil immediately. Ashan, they're insisting on keeping him until at least mid-year or the end of the season. And this person told me the following: it could happen, but then the chance of him missing the World Cup is very high. If he stays here, he'll need to play and he'll need to perform, because if he doesn't play, if he doesn't perform, forget about the World Cup. So Ashan is very calm about this, and that's why there's no rush, because he knows that if he stays, there's no pretending. If he wants to pretend, he can, but he'll lose. One of his main goals and one of the reasons why he wants to come now is the World Cup. So there are a lot of situations involved. Flamengo really believes that they are making progress, that there have been significant advances, and that they have already managed to lower the cost quite a bit. Ashan first mentioned 50 million pounds, nearly 60 million euros, but now they're discussing a lower amount. Although just now the article from The Athletic by Mario Cortegana, he's even worked with me at Goal, by the way. He's a very well-informed journalist and works at The Athletic, which is part of the New York Times. He says Ashan hasn't lowered his price and it's still 60 million euros, but my information says he has. Ashan lowered his asking price to encourage negotiation, in which Paquetá isn't coming now, in which Paquetá would only come in May, at the end of the season there. And what if that happens and Paquetá is called up for the World Cup? He would only arrive at Flamengo around mid-July, because there's the World Cup preparation, there's the World Cup itself anyway. So that's one of the things that's causing issues. It's a very complex negotiation. There are the amounts, the payment method, the fact that he could come now or in the middle of the year. Flamengo believes that they're making progress, even if it's just a little, but they're moving forward, and let's see what happens in the next few days. Flamengo should increase the offer a little. It should go a bit over those 40 million euros.
Can I add something? Sure. I think the main issue might be that the one in a hurry is Paquetá, right? Because you see, Ashan is not in a hurry to sell and has no need to sell. And Flamengo, as much as they want, Flamengo is not in a rush to bring Paquetá. It wasn't even the most needed position, nor is it the most needed position for Leão.
Flamengo is doing well. Flamengo is doing very well.
The market possibility, so yeah, Flamengo can wait. And they know actually that's fine. If Ashan also doesn't reach an agreement now, in the middle of the year, it's already worth less.
It's not, sorry, Garoni, it's not. Even Raiza's information was confirmed. Raiza, look, I confirmed it with this source connected to Flamengo. Flamengo knows. Flamengo already knows about this situation, okay? Flamengo already knows about this situation, about that one more year on the contract. Flamengo already knows that, okay?
But it's a shorter contract still.
Yeah, but it won't change much.
I'm unsure about this clause and can't confirm if it applies if A is relegated.
Yeah, okay.
I couldn't confirm if it can be activated in case of relegation.
So there's no rush from Ashton or Flamengo. It's not urgent. Flamengo doesn't need Paquetá, but they might want him now. I'm not negotiating now, but it's not necessary. Flamengo disagrees. If we lose Paquetá, our year will be bad. Flamengo and Ashton are favorites in everything now. That's fine. I don't mind losing the player. Currently, the team is battling relegation with about 4 or 5 months left in the season. I think the one in a hurry is Paquetá. I think that's probably the point, right? Paquetá is kind of in a tight spot because he's also in this situation, right? He's not playing. You have the World Cup getting closer. I think maybe for Paquetá the anxiety is even a bit greater, and then the clubs are working calmly to try to reach a middle ground. Good for everyone, it's that rush. Maybe Paquetá is...
And Ilan, it's been over 7 minutes for you to go to the super chat, like you said. So just for the super chat, it's just for us to explain a situation here. When I brought the information, I said what was coming out in England. And we know it comes from sources close to West Ham and the staff and everything else. And what comes out in Brazil and what we also find out from sources connected to the board, which Reza also has these contacts. So there's Flamengo's version, there's West Ham's version, there's what comes out in the Brazilian press and what comes out in the English press. So it's not that it's a battle of narratives, but these are pieces of information that leak, that come from different places. You can't just claim journalist X is lying or telling the truth. You have information, which is why it's important to share what we receive. Here's what was resolved with Flamengo. The amount fits the RRMCM range. So now it's just about finalizing the payment method. Flamengo might manage it. This has never been this close, and West Ham is also feeling pressure from their fans. Remember, they have their own version and another version is emerging there. We'll only know once they reach an agreement. If it's for CM or RRMCM, then it's RRMCM. When the deal is closed, which I think will happen, we'll know the truth, but that's it. I agree with Garoni that the player is most eager to play soon to secure his World Cup spot. Flamengo is calm, but West Ham isn't, Garoni, because of relegation concerns. And it's worth mentioning in these 2 minutes I got here that West Ham wants the money to sign new players, okay? People can say what they want, but we know they want the money up front to sign players. They know keeping a player who wants to leave isn't ideal. They want to sign new players and need them as they're fighting to avoid relegation.
Time's up. Candidate, let's go to number 7. Let's go to 7-7.